Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Full Quota Podcast. My name is Mpho and Tim. I've got Tim Lace here with me. I'm currently sitting in London and it's very gloomy. But Tim, how's the weather that side? Is it any better?
It's glorious, dude. It's cold, but it's sunny. I've got all my edibles for the match, all my drinks and food already settled. So I'm ready to settle in for the day to watch the game.
Yeah, no. You are, I think, about 20 minutes away from me going to the stadium, but we're going to talk about all of that. Remember, please do follow us on all the socials, Full Quarter Pod on X. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube now, please press the red button and subscribe to be notified when we go live, like now. And we're going to do this most of the days as I'm over here. So please do subscribe and thank you for that. And also, on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Our community is growing, and we're going to put this up as soon as we are done here. But also, you can buy some coffee at buymeacoffee.com/full quota podcast to support us and help us move this show along. And also, if you want to check out our Instagram page, it's day one. It's the morning of day one, and we are hoping, obviously, for a good day for South Africa. But the teams were announced yesterday, and so Tim and I are just coming on to discuss what's happening, what to expect on day one, so that you are in the know when you're watching the day. In case anything goes wrong, you'll be like, "Oh no, but they said this, so we must expect this." And that's essentially what today's show is about. Tim, you saw the team news, Australia and South Africa. What were your first thoughts around South Africa?
I was expecting a surprise in there. I was expecting a surprise either at the batting order or I was. There was a part of me that was thinking at the last minute Shukri would have gone with Pato. You don't send Pato to
Mm,
Middlesex, whose home ground is Lords, if you don't have Pato very much in your thinking in your final 11 for that final. So I'm devastated for him. Obviously, it would have been a great swan song for him to get the nod. But I do think if you take everything into consideration, I do think Shukri has picked the right 11. Um, I'm worried in terms of the composition, the number three, but I think it is the right team, which is the most important part.
okay, Tim, I'm sorry, the signal's a little bit patchy, so I missed you on a lot of those. I thought Pato would play. I thought bringing in Lungi was a sensible option. I kind of felt that I thought the surprise would be in the batting, and we saw that with Vian coming in at number three. You kind of sit there going, Vian can swing the ball. How well is he bowling? And I think this was the nod to him, right? To say that he's going to bat at three and he's going to bowl, right? When was the last time we had a all rounder in the top six?
Probably Shark Curse. So it's been a while.
It helps elongate the batting lineup, and it kind of frees up David Bedingham there at the bottom. A lot of people were hoping that Betters wasn't going to make it, but he somehow is in the squad and is batting a little bit lower than normal. Um, Tim, are you happy that Betters is in? Do you think that was the right call, and could he be the surprise, batting slightly lower than you expect?
I think that 5, 6, 7, 8 composition by Shukri is a very shrewd move. It makes a lot of sense that you have most attacking players within the South African setup against potentially the softer ball. If it works, if Vian chews up enough deliveries at the top, it could be an absolute masterstroke. I really think it's a very, very clever piece of work there by Shukri. But you're right, we've been discussing betters for the last couple of weeks. I've been saying there's a potential that he might not get it. Um, but obviously, I'm delighted that he's in. I'm delighted. Um, and he knows the conditions better than anyone in the setup at the moment.
Tim, sorry, it's a bit of a situation aside with all the horrible Wi-Fi, but yeah, we'll be fine. One last thing, obviously, looking at that Australian team, what were your thoughts around it? Obviously, we had kind of expected the lineup, and I think with both teams they gave us the same lineup, it's just in different phases. But the Bo Webster pick, I think that's who they think their surprise is. Should we be worried about Bo Webster? I see Cam Green at three, and we know I think we've seen a lot of Cam Green throughout, but Bo Webster, like, is he one of the guys that we should be looking out for, and could he be the potential game changer for Australia?
He's in primarily because Green is not going to bowl this test match. So they needed somebody to give that quartet of fast bowlers a bit of a break. They could have gone with the guy at the top. What's his name? My
Manus
mind skips me. No, the spinner. Um, anyway,
Inglis.
it's no, he's playing in the 11. Left hand bat. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It's they could have gone with him in terms of using overs to bowl, to give the rest of the pace bowlers. They've gone with the extra pace bowler. It makes sense. That that spin, not to spin, that slip cordon of Kawaja, Smith, Green, and Webster is going to be very, very important for them. Those boys do not drop a lot of catches.
Mm.
That's going to be a huge, huge asset for them. I think I think they went with the right 11. There were murmurings that they were going to go differently in terms of Marnus because of his genuine lack of form. But he's still a class player, and he's been there before. He's come in and not been in the greatest form and found a way to get runs. Both teams have picked the right 11. Let's put it that way. Both teams have picked their best 11s. They could have gone differently, but they've gone with their best 11s.
Yeah. Look, I hope Manus doesn't find runs here at Lords and reinvigorate his career. But like when I looked at that Australian team, so we arrived on Monday and they were practicing in the nursery. Name is Travis Head, Tim. Um,
Yeah,
he was unbelievable. There was this one ball where it felt like it was a gunshot, where he cracked it. And I think it was how important and devastating he can be. But so yeah, so that was one of the key things there. But I'm in agreement with you that slip cord is going to the way I see it. Because I think for me, where Australia wins the game is that Mitchell. But I think it's all up to Mitchell Starc. He's their X Factor player. They know it. He knows it, and he's the one who can go up and down. And similar to kind of like Marco can go up and down from an anxiety level perspective, and the performances can show that. But Starkey is one of those. But in a World Cup final, Starkey steps up, and they're hoping that he brings that for him, right? For them, in that. From a batting perspective, Tim, I look at Manus, I look at Kawaja, I look at Cam Green, and I look at them, and I'm like, will we able to have them 40 for 3? Okay. Sorry, this connection. I'm going to be apologizing for this connection over the next couple of weeks. But anyway, um, um, so Tim, did you say yes to the 40 for 3? Can we have them 40 for 3? Okay. Tim says he can't hear me. Let's see if I
I
can't
don't
do
know
something
if I
different.
should talk, but I think I got the sort of
Can you hear me now?
uh, consensus of what you said, um, in terms of if we find them 40 for 3. Look,
Mm,
both bowling attacks can find the opposition in trouble. The game that's going to be won between the bowling attacks. That's where it's going to be won. Um, if both top threes can get through the new ball, fif, fif, 15 overs or so, it'll make a huge dent in the opposition.
yeah. Look, so let me give you a weather forecast, Tim. It's looking a little gloomy for the first couple of hours up until 12 o'clock. The game starts at 10:30. So you get 1.5 hours of cloudy skies, and then the sun's going to start peering through. Um, can you still hear me? Still can't hear me. Okay. Okay, let me get out. Um, background noise, okay. I am going to.
We will wait for a ball. Hopefully, this is a trial and error for us. We just need to see whether we're going to be able to do this. Um, uh,
Tim, can you hear me now?
yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. So what
Yeah.
I was saying was, weather forecast is quite gloomy to start the game. There's no rain today, but the sun's gonna peer out in the afternoon. I'm sure you've seen pictures of the pitch, as have I, and everyone's been talking about how dry the pitches are in the UK as of late, which is also like a whole Cam Green scored 3 centuries, but the pitches were dry. It's gonna be a runs fest. It doesn't look like there's a lot of grass on that pitch. If you win the toss, what do you do?
You bet. Um, I would love the idea of bowling and bowling a solo out for 180 the first day.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, everybody seems to suggest that this is going to be a flattish wicket because they want to get as much money out of this particular fixture as possible. They want it to last as long as possible. And if it's on the flat side, there is a potential Australia could be 320 for 4 at the end of the day. And we don't want to be chasing it for 4 days. We really don't
Yeah,
want to be chasing the game for 4 days.
yeah, no, yeah. I think that's really important, and I think if you win the toss, bat first. But even if you don't, let's say we are bowling first. What would you say? Make use of the first hour and a half. Get a bit of swing. Is there a possibility that you open with a Vian Mulder because he can swing the ball? And you go with like a Vian and a Kagiso and then a Marco and Lungi in the first change. Is that a possibility?
I doubt it. The only thing is it's English conditions, and Vian knows it.
Mm.
I doubt it. I'd still go with. Well, it's pretty much. I would still go with the quicker guys. It doesn't really
Mm.
matter to me. I would probably go with Kagiso and Lungi, um, uh, and go from there. That's where I would go with. I don't really want Marco potentially spraying it around in that first hour. Uh, you don't want to
Yeah.
lose that momentum. Um, so I'd rather that Marco and Vian are using just a slightly older ball
Older
than the
ball.
new ball.
Okay.
I think the ball is still going to move around, just maybe not quite as much.
Okay. One last thing on day one. We can't. Sorry, I'm just also going through some things here. You can't win the game on day one, but you can sure lose it. What do you, at the minimum, what do you want the Proteas to have done? So for in two scenarios, right? If we're batting first, what's the number at the end of the day that you're hoping to get to? And then if we're bowling first, well, how many wickets do you need to have them down by the end of the day and to still be in the contest?
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be playing a particularly attacking form of cricket. You don't have that
Mm,
5, 6, 7, and 8 in particular, and so we're going to make 210 for 4 kind of thing.
mm,
I'm thinking closer to 300. So 280, 290. Um, probably for 4. Yeah, 280, 290 for 4. Um, and we're in there. You want to get, particularly if what they're saying about the pitch is true, you want 400. If you get 400 on
mm.
this pitch, you win the game. So 280,
Yeah,
290 for 4. If you're bowling, 7 wickets. You want 7
yeah,
wickets, I think.
yeah.
At the bare minimum, you want 5. That would be absolutely bare minimum. Anything less, and we're in trouble.
With Head and Smith out.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those for me are the two crucial ones. Get Head and Smith out early. Everyone else, look. If here's the thing, if Kawaja, Marnus, Cam Green beat us, Alex Carey beat us, that's fine. That's okay. But we can't be beaten by Smith and Ed. You need to figure out a way to nullify them in these conditions with your bowling attack. That for me is the key. You can't be at the end of the day with Smith or Head, either past 50 or close to 100 or something like that. That kind of the game can accelerate far away from you from that point. And that's from a bowling perspective. I still do think 6 wickets always has been the thing. You can't be 300 for 3 or 300 for 4, as you mentioned, because I feel like then you are chasing the game. You haven't killed yourself, you're not out of it, but you got a lot of work to do on day two. Whereas on the other side, Tim, from a batting perspective, yeah, take as much time as you can. It's a 6-day test. The way that's how I see it, right? We need to have a winner. It doesn't end at the end of day 5 as a draw, right? Unless if at the end of day 6 it's been raining and we're done and we share it. So think about it as a 6-day test. Take as much time as you need. Get yourself in. First hour, if you're batting, don't do anything stupid. Yes, you want to throw the first punch. Yes, you want to step up and show Australia that that's what it is. But the value of your wickets in these conditions is going to be important. I can't stress that enough. Um, like I'm that's my only worry about Vian. We kind of need so the way I split it up is. If I can get about 200 runs from the or 150 runs from the opening pair in 2 innings, that's fine. If you can get about 250 runs from 3, 4, and 5 together in this match. That gets you somewhere, and then you can get 150 runs from was it 6, 7, and 8. That gives you enough runs for you to win this match. And in doing that, you can do that whichever way, knowing that you bat twice. But you need partnerships, and that's what we're hoping for. 2 big partnerships by the end of the day, if we're batting first. And you also need someone to put their hand up. The problem with South Africa is we don't have the one guy we go to, like an AB or a Callis or a Faf, to say, you're the guy. Somebody today needs to show us that this is their moment and they want to take it away from Australia. And that's what I'm excited for. But I'm also kind of nervous because we're playing as a team. And so as a team, the way I see it is 100, 100, 150 from the openers over the 2 innings, 250 from the 3, 4, and 5. That's 400 already, and another 150 from the 6, 7, and 8 to kind of ease the pressure off of guys, to let them know that we're batting as partnerships and we're not batting as individuals, right? That gets you to about 600 runs. 600 runs keeps you in the game. If you get any 50 runs extra from any of those buckets, you win the game. That's how I see it. I think that's the easiest way to kind of was it eat the elephant, rather than necessarily saying I need runs from you, you, and you. If you work together as a team, I think we'll come out of here. From a bowling perspective, look, if Marco can get me 6 wickets in this match alone, that decreases the burden on everybody else. I think Marco and Vian are the key. If Vian can even steal a few wickets, if Vian gets more than 3 wickets in this game, we should be cooking with gas. If obviously the game hasn't run away and they're not like 300 for four and we're taking wickets in garbage time. But if he can make that new ball swing in the first 40 overs and make early inroads, we are key. And for me, I think in this game, Vian Mulder is the key to unlocking this thing. Yes, we know Gajiso, he's there. We don't win without him. We don't win without one of the batters to come through. But for me, Vian on bat and ball is the key. So too, I think Marco Janssen. I think both teams, Alex Carey, Bo Webster, Marco Janssen, Cal Verena, and Vian Mulder. Those runs, that little axis of runs, whoever gets the most runs in that little axis, probably for both teams, probably wins the game. Those lower order runs, Tim, are just going to be so crucial before that new ball.
Indeed. Before we do wrap things up, because these pods throughout the test match are going to be on the shorter side, but they are going to be on the regular side. Fingers crossed, technology is on our side. I want to get an impression of the vibe over there.
Yeah.
We know that there are an awful lot of Australians and South Africans not that are already living over there. My social media has been flooded with South Africans going over from South Africa just for this match. It's insane how many of my friends are over there entirely for this match. So just give us an impression on the vibe at the moment.
Look, so London's a big city, so you have to like meet up with the South Africans that you know and everything else. However, the plane ride there, I had PJ Powers, who's supposedly going to be in the long room in front of me. It was wild. The guys in my row were also going to Lords, right? So we talked cricket the whole night, right? Discussing Strictly's changes. I was giving them some insight because I have a little bit more insight than them in terms of what was said in press conferences, what we think might happen. And guys are sending messages now asking where we're sitting. So there's going to be a lot of South Africans moving around. That South African little kitchen at Lords knows that will know us by the end of those 5 days. Um, and it's exciting. I did see some Australians while we were watching the Aussies practice on Monday. A couple of them, some Queenslanders, are here. You can see them with the maroon hats. So and then you just hear South African accents all around, and you're just hoping to meet them at the cricket. But yeah, it's building up. Last night we met up with a few people. Met up with some people from CSA last night. They're excited. The whole of that office, I think, is here in London. They use their own money. The CSA didn't pay anything, right? They were just told if you want to come, we can try and get you tickets. But yeah, so they're excited. There's SAB activations happening. And I kind of know where the Proteas are staying, which hotel they're at. I won't tell you, but I might make my way there on the day we win. And yeah, look, it's exciting, and it's weird that it's starting on a Wednesday. But yeah, we just hope the rain stays away. We hope we get some good cricket, and yeah, we in the home dressing room. That's what I found out as well. Yes, yes, not Australia. I think they didn't want Australia in there. I also wouldn't want Australia in there. But yeah,
It's interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
And look, I want Timber to win that test match as much as anybody else, and we're here to make sure that they come through and do it. And hey, look, if we're batting first, hey, there's a Timber 100 on the cards at 4 o'clock today.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Let's
Yeah,
hope so indeed. Indeed.
yeah. So
Awesome.
so what would you keep a hold of our socials? We'll be posting as much as possible. I'll be posting from the game as much as possible. Giving you updates and everything else. So you can follow me, Adam Pomereki, or on the Full Quota Pod. I'll actually try and post on the Full Quota Pod as well in terms of what's going on, the toss. If there any other team news, maybe someone's got a bug today and they can't play. That would be horrible. And everything else that's happening. I'm excited to see the slope. We're sitting on the media center side of the ground today. And so it's going to be quite interesting. So a lot of the South Africans are actually going to be on the eastern side of the ground, so they're going to be on the side facing. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to see the ball move, but that's going to be quite a thing. But yeah, we'll take photos, we'll send stuff, and we'll be back tomorrow, maybe a little bit earlier, like a 7:30. And I'll try hope to be outside to get proper reception, because clearly this is a first world city, Tim, but it's got third world problems, technology wise. But yeah, look, we managed to do it. And yeah, send through your comments, send through all your things. NY Times Square says Markram smashing the ball for 4 against Stark will be enough for me to believe we will win. Thank you, NY Times Square. I think, yeah, that's the that's the belief. But I hope he doesn't do 4 in a row or 3 in a row, because when Markram gets 3 in a row, the fourth one's always caught it slip. But he averages 60 against Australia. And Aiden, if you win this one, I'm not gonna call you pretty privileged again. So please, 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 my man, please, please. Even if it's a 50, man, I'll take it. I, I'm not greedy today. We can't be greedy. We can't want wickets to fall in a clump. But we do know that there are going to be those spells, Tim, those Kagiso Lungi spells where the pressure's going to be on. And if it falls just the one way, it opens the door for us to win this game. And I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, Tim, enjoy it. Yeah, we still need to buy those little ear thingies. So yeah, I need to get running. But Tim, thank you very much for joining and for agreeing to this. And let's see how many more days we can do this. And hopefully on one of the days, it'll be straight after us winning the World Test Championship and that test mates. From ourselves here at the Full Quarter Pod, please do follow us. Everything's on the bottom. Like and subscribe if you like this on YouTube. Follow us on all our platforms on X. Apple Podcasts is Full Quota Pod. We're gonna try and download this and put this up as well on Spotify to get you guys in the know. It's about 2 hours before the game starts, before the match actually starts. 90 minutes before the toss. So Tim, from ourselves here at Full Quota Pod, enjoy the game. Everyone here who's watching, enjoy the game. It's goodbye, and till tomorrow. Le sale, cacajizo.